Investigators have released new details from last Friday's double murder in Sutter.
The Chico CHP dispatch received a 911 call from one of the victim's cell phones that same night. Action News reporter Britt Carlson has more on the call that could have saved the couple's life.
Jack and Sue have been the best people that I've ever met.
A neighbor recalls the wonderful memories of Jack and Susan Martin. It's been nearly a week since they were found dead inside their Mulberry Street home in Sutter. Firefighters responding to a garage fire at the Martins' home early Saturday morning were the first to discover their bodies. But now the Chico CHP is saying they received a 911 call from one of the Martins' cell phones.
With a call coming out of Sutter County, Sutter is fairly close to State Route 20, so instead of being directed to a sheriff's department, it was routed to our comm center.
However, the call was brief. The dispatcher heard talking and then they were disconnected. Even after forwarding the call to Sutter County, deputies couldn't pinpoint the exact address it came from.
You can narrow it down, but it takes time and time on the phone to narrow it down.
Time deputies didn't have. They scoured the Martins neighborhood, asking neighbors if they had heard anything suspicious, but nothing came of it. The call will be used as evidence in the case against primary suspect 21-year-old Joseph Simlick, the ex-boyfriend of the Martins' youngest daughter, Kendall. Neighbors say Kendall broke up with Simlick about a month before her parents were murdered. Officers first arrested Simlick a day after the killings for false imprisonment, an incident on July 25th when officers say Kendall was held against her will in his car. Investigators still won't release how the Martins were killed, but they believe the fire was an attempt to cover it up. For Action News, I'm Britt Carlson.
A service will be held for the Martins tomorrow in Yuba City at the Calvary Christian Center.
An afternoon fire forces a Chico family from their home. Neighbors reported the fire at a home on North Graves Avenue just before 1:30 this afternoon. Firefighters say no one was at home at the time of the fire, but all of the family's dogs made it out of the house safely. Firefighters believe the fire started in a hallway, but firefighters were able to keep it from spreading further.
It was a fairly quick put out, although it seems to us just from the initial investigation that the fire had been burning for quite a while because there is significant smoke damage throughout the house.
Firefighters did not have an estimate on damages, but say the family will have to find a new place to stay. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Now for an Action News update. A Paradise man is in fair condition after falling down a cliff in Magalia. 52-year-old David Ryder was airlifted out of Feather River Canyon yesterday after falling about 20 feet near Koodalink Road. Officials say it was difficult to get to Ryder because of the steep terrain and the amount of snags and trees. A sheriff's helicopter was eventually able to pull the man out and transfer him to an Enloe Flight Care helicopter. He is still under the care of Enloe Medical Center today.
And we have an Action News update for you on the bear attacks near Yellowstone National Park last week. Montana state wildlife officials are investigating claims a wildlife photographer may be to blame for the fatal bear attack. The bear's 3 cubs are now at a zoo in Billings, while officials try to determine what caused the mother to attack 3 tents, killing 1 camper and injuring 2 others. One allegation is that a nature photographer had been baiting the bear to get better photographs. However, that has not been proven. The bear was captured and euthanized, and experts say it was underweight but not starving.
Attorney General Eric Holder today announced charges against 14 people for seeking to support or join the Somali-based terror group Al-Shabaab. 12 of the cases are from Minnesota, where Holder says the Muslim community has been very supportive in trying to help stop the radicalization of its youth. The 2 other cases were from Alabama and California. Almost all of the individuals are U.S. citizens. The Attorney General says the charges should serve as a warning to anybody thinking of supporting a terrorist group.
If you choose this route, you can expect to find yourself in a United States jail cell or to be a casualty on a Somali battlefield.
Back in 2008, the federal government designated Al-Shabaab as a foreign terrorist organization with ties to Al-Qaeda. North Korea is threatening to destroy South Korea with powerful war tactics if the South initiates a conflict. The North has been strongly condemning the South's anti-submarine drills. South Korea is holding the drills near the disputed sea border, where the North is suspected of torpedoing a South Korean warship last March, killing 46 sailors. North Korean state media today called the South Korean administration, quote, puppet warmongers, and threatened to destroy the country with powerful war tactics and, quote, offensive means beyond imagination.
Model Naomi Campbell testified at the war crimes trial of former Liberian ruler Charles Taylor today. The model said that she received a gift of what she called dirty-looking stones in reference to so-called blood diamonds after attending a dinner with Taylor, but stopped short of saying they were diamonds or that she was given them by Taylor himself. Campbell was being questioned about claims made by actress Mia Farrow that Taylor gave the model an uncut diamond or diamonds after a dinner party hosted by Nelson Mandela they all attended in South Africa in 1997. Campbell did not want to testify. She had to be subpoenaed. Her reasons? Fear.
I don't know. I don't know anything about Charles Taylor. Never heard of him before. Never heard of the country Liberia before. I never heard of the term of blood diamonds before. So I just assumed that it was.
Prosecutors say Campbell's testimony could provide evidence Taylor received diamonds from Sierra Leone rebels in exchange for weapons during that country's 1992 to 2002 civil war.
For the first time in 108 days, there is evidence crews have begun the final step to permanently seal the leaking well in the Gulf of Mexico. Today, engineers began pumping mud through a containment cap on the top of the fractured riser, but it's still not the end of the crisis there. Jay Gray has the latest now from Venice, Louisiana.
As engineers now pump in cement to seal the well from the top, there is a growing sense the flow of oil may finally be over.
This is not the end, but it will virtually assure us that there will be no chance of oil leaking into the environment.
Struggling fishermen meeting in Alabama phrase it a bit differently.
Wicked witch of the West is dead.
But for many, the problems and frustrations from almost 3 months of crude pouring into the Gulf are still very much alive.
I'm excited about the well being capped, but my neighbor who's fixing to lose his home and close his business don't mean a whole lot to him.
And there continue to be lingering questions about exactly how much oil is still in the water. Government scientists say 75% of the 207 million gallons from the spill is gone now. But those who work and live on the water aren't so sure.
I think they're jumping the gun way too quick.
They worry there's still crude weighed down by chemical dispersants well below the surface.
They should have never put the disbursement on to begin with. That's why they wanted it to sink. They wanted it all to sink because you can't see it.
What most can see now is there's been significant progress in sealing the leak. A chance after 108 days to at least take a breath.
I think we can all breathe a little easier regarding the potential that we'll have oil in the Gulf ever again. But we need to ensure the people of the Gulf and the people of the United States that this thing is properly finished, and that will be through the bottom.
A bottom kill that is likely still a couple of weeks away.
Crews drilling the primary relief well in the next day or two, and it could intersect with the fractured rig by the end of next week. Jay Gray, NBC News, Venice, Louisiana.
We now have an update on a Chico High parking lot and plans to use it for profit during the 2010-2011 school year. Last night, Chico Unified Board members approved a plan to go into the parking lot business on a lot located on West Sacramento and Warner. The lot will offer nearly 300 spaces that can be rented out to anyone who wants to use the lot for $500 a year, $300 a semester. Each space will be assigned to the buyers, so that person is guaranteed a spot. Trustees say profit from the lot will go into an account available for use district-wide.
Well, babies are so cute, you just want to hug them and kiss them, right? But if you do it too much, will it have a lasting effect? What a new study reveals up next on NBC 24 Action News at 5:30.
And an ingredient found in sodas and other foods can lead to faster cancer cell growth. We'll let you know what that ingredient is when we return.
We'll take a look at our forecast, which has some really nice weather headed our way just in time for the weekend, coming up in just a bit.